At last, Barbara Hale speaks up about Raymond Burr. On April 18, 1922, Barbara Hale was born in DeKalb, Illinois. Barbara was the daughter of Wilma Colvin Hale and Luther Ezra Hale, a landscape gardener. She was born and raised in Rockford, Illinois, and went to Rockford High School before relocating to Chicago, where her journey to fame would start. Barbara initially wanted to be an artist and enrolled at the Chicago Academy of Fine Arts to become a commercial artist, but destiny quickly changed her plans. She entered the world of fashion modeling when modeling companies saw her composure and remarkable appearance while she was a student in Chicago. Eventually, talent scouts from RKO Pictures, one of the biggest Hollywood studios at the time, took notice of her modeling success. In the early 1940s, Barbara moved to Los Angeles and signed a contract with RKO because she was naturally comfortable in front of the camera. In 1943, she made her cinematic debut in Gildersleeve's Bad Day, and she soon started getting parts in a range of movies, including westerns, dramas, and musical comedies. Barbara Hale had an amazing cinematic career in the 1940s and 1950s. She co-starred with movie stars. For example, Rock Hudson in Seminole, 1953, Robert Mitchum in West of the Pecos, 1945, and James Stewart in The Jackpot, 1950. She proved to be a talented actor with depth, charisma, and quiet perseverance thanks to her composed manner, soulful eyes, and commanding presence. She further solidified her reputation in Hollywood with her performance in the suspense thriller The Window, 1949, which turned out to be a surprise blockbuster. But Barbara Hale's most famous part would come in 1957 when she was chosen to play Della Street, Raymond Burr's faithful secretary and confidant in the CBS television series of the same name. Hale starred in almost 270 episodes during the original run of the show, which ran from 1957 to 1966, receiving praise from critics for her subtle depiction of a character that was far more than a sidekick. In an era when few women were shown in that manner on television, Della Street was intelligent, resourceful, dignified, and a symbol of professionalism and grace. Hale's significant contribution to the show's ongoing popularity was recognized in 1959 when she was awarded the Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Fans continued to adore Barbara Hale even after the original series ended, and she reprised her role as Della Street in more than 30 Perry Mason television films between 1985 and 1995, co-starring with Raymond Burr until his passing. One of the most beloved relationships in TV history was their on-screen collaboration, which was marked by subtle chemistry, intense regard for one another, and undying loyalty. In contrast to several of her peers who established lengthy careers in a variety of media, Barbara Hale's entry into the radio industry was very restricted and brief, despite the fact that she would go on to attain lasting popularity on television and in movies. Even in a medium that solely relied on vocal expression and creativity, her limited radio appearances nevertheless provided an insight into her range and talent as a performer. She appeared on a single episode of Voice of the Army, a U.S.-created public relations program, in 1947, marking one of her first known radio appearances. Army following World War II. The purpose of this series was to preserve the spirit of patriotism, share soldier narratives, and raise morale. Hale's selection indicates that she was regarded as a respected young actress whose voice and persona might help spread the show's uplifting ideas to listeners across the nation, despite the fact that records of the episode in which she appeared are few. She appeared in an episode of the renowned Lux Radio Theater, one of the most prominent Golden Age radio shows, in 1950. Lux Radio Theater, which ran from the 1930s to the middle of the 1950s, was well known for turning theatrical plays and popular movies into one-hour radio dramas, frequently asking well-known Hollywood stars or performers from original films to return to their roles or give well-loved characters fresh looks. An actress like Hale's inclusion in Lux Radio Theater was a major testament to her legitimacy and ascent in the entertainment industry. It also showed that she was able to adjust to the particular requirements of radio acting, where a wide range of emotions had to be expressed solely by voice, devoid of the use of facial expression or body language. Additionally, she appeared in an episode of Proudly We Hail, a syndicated patriotic radio program that emphasized American values and frequently dramatized tales of bravery, selflessness, and moral fortitude. Similar to Voice of the Army, this program focused a lot on themes of bravery and national unity, and Hale's involvement emphasized how appealing she was as a pure, all-American actress who could successfully represent such ideals. in front of listeners on the radio. Most famously, Hale voiced 5 episodes of Family Theater, a long-running radio drama series that centered on tales that promoted moral principles, family harmony, and faith-based topics between 1950 and 1954. One distinctive feature of Family Theater was that it regularly drew Hollywood actors who offered their time to act out stories that complemented the show's wider spiritual themes and Catholic culture. Hale's repeated appearances on the show indicated that she not only agreed with its goals, but also contributed to its narrative in a reliable and appreciated manner. These performances also showed her capacity to express strong feelings and moral convictions through her voice, which would later be characteristics of her more visually striking on-screen performances. Even though Barbara Hale's radio resume was brief, especially in comparison to her achievements in film and television, it nevertheless captures a significant time in her early career when she was establishing herself as an actress who could succeed in a variety of entertainment formats. Her experience in performance arts was completed by her brief but significant contributions to radio, at a time when a lot of performers were switching between the stage, radio, and screen. These early appearances still demonstrate her commitment to her craft and her readiness to take on a range of roles in support of American entertainment and cultural values of the era, even though she would soon abandon the radio industry in favor of film and, eventually, iconic television work. Barbara Hale's life took a significant turn in 1945 while the Western movie West of the Pecos was being made, both personally and professionally. She met fellow actor Bill Williams, whose real name was Herman August Wilhelm Catt, on this set. Williams, a ruggedly attractive and then-rising celebrity, had a history based in show business and athleticism, and he had served with distinction in the military during World War II. Prior to going into acting, Hale was clearly drawn to his quiet charm off-screen, which complemented his charisma and commanding presence on screen. During filming, the two actors bonded instantly and found a strong connection that went beyond their shared parts. Their first connection developed into a romantic partnership in real life. Barbara Hale and Bill Williams were married on June 22, 1946, a year later. Their marriage was the start of a committed and long-lasting relationship that would last for almost 50 years. They maintained a solid relationship based on love, respect, and support for one another's job despite the difficulties that came with having two active Hollywood professions, particularly in the middle of the 20th century when the entertainment industry was infamously demanding. Their marriage stood out for its stability and duration in contrast to many celebrity marriages of the era. Bill and Barbara created a close-knit family together. They had a boy named William Catt and 2 daughters, Jody and Juanita. William would go on to become a successful performer in his own right, just like his parents. William Catt inherited his parents' ability and on-screen persona. He is most known for his portrayal as the lead in The Greatest American Hero and for playing the adult Paul Drake Jr. in the later Perry Mason television films, where he co-starred with his mother. Barbara frequently stated how happy she was to be able to share the TV with her son and how pleased she was of his successes. Barbara Hale managed to juggle her rigorous acting career and motherhood. It got more difficult when her reputation increased due to her memorable performance in the Perry Mason television series as Della Street. She nevertheless made her family her top priority and kept her home cozy and supportive. Her children frequently praised her for her generosity, sense of humor, and unwavering commitment to raising them. The family maintained a sense of normalcy and seclusion despite leading a public life. This demonstrated Hale and Williams' dedication to protecting their kids from the demands of the entertainment industry. Many people considered their marriage, which lasted until Bill Williams' death in 1992, to be an uncommon Hollywood love story based on sincere affection, strong friendship, and similar beliefs. In the years that followed, Barbara Hale continued to be committed to her husband's memory, frequently thinking back with nostalgia on their shared life, the legacy they had left behind through their kids, and their contributions to the entertainment industry. For many years, Barbara Hale kept her friendship and professional connection with Raymond Burr, her famous co-star on the enduring courtroom drama Perry Mason, remarkably quiet. Because of their unmistakable on-screen chemistry and long-lasting off-screen friendship, fans frequently conjectured about the true nature of their relationship, but Hale always opted for secrecy and gave little more than courteous appreciation when questioned about Burr in interviews. She did, however, start to become more open in her later years, providing unique insights into the intricate, heartwarming, and sometimes enigmatic relationship that profoundly influenced their lives and careers. Hale finally revealed her passionate thoughts on Raymond Burr in a late-life interview, which demonstrated the great regard, awe, and love she had for him. Then she quietly smiled and said that Raymond was more than simply a coworker. He was one of the nicest people I have ever met, and he was also my buddy and protector. In addition to his enormous presence, he was also extraordinarily kind and giving. As she recounted the early days of Perry Mason, when she and Burr were both juggling the demands of developing what would turn out to be one of television's most enduring series, her voice faltered. Hale noted, "He carried the show on his shoulders, but he always made sure I was right there beside him, valued and supported." To me, that meant the world. Hale also freely discussed how Burr kept a large portion of his private life hidden from the public, something she respected and understood very well. She mentioned the loneliness he occasionally alluded to with his authoritative on-screen persona. Raymond chose not to share certain aspects of his life, she said tactfully. However, that didn't lessen his generosity or the depth of his heart for people he loved. Off camera, she talked about calm understanding, lengthy chats, and laughs. She had special memories of moments that were never intended for the media. Hale was quick to defend Burr when questioned about the unfounded allegations that had been circulating in newspapers for years and the ongoing suspicions about his personal life. She stated strongly that although speculation is common, Raymond was a very private man who deserved to be left alone. "I knew him as a man who arrived with dignity each and every day, who put in endless effort and showed humility and respect to all members of the crew and cast." Hale's emotional disclosure also mentioned how much she grieved Burr's death in 1993. Quietly, she said that losing him was like losing a piece of herself. "We had worked together for so long, and I knew that I would never again have a professional connection like that. Between us, there was a lovely unsaid beat." By speaking out after a long period of silence, Barbara Hale not only honored a close friend, but also revealed the profound humanity of a guy who is frequently surrounded by mystery. Her remarks provided a portrait of enduring friendship, mutual commitment, and calm devotion, acting as a kind and loving correction to years of conjecture. "He was my Perry," she said, smiling wistfully, "and I'll be his Della forever." At the amazing age of 94, Barbara Hale died quietly on January 26, 2017, at her longtime home in Sherman Oaks, California. Being one of the last celebrities from the heyday of classic television, her passing signaled the end of an era. Complications from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, a degenerative lung illness that frequently arises from years of smoking or exposure to environmental contaminants, were reported as the official cause of death. Hale had lived a long and productive life, but this crippling respiratory condition affected her last years, limiting her physical activities and eventually making breathing harder. In spite of these obstacles, she maintained her mental acuity and was surrounded by devoted family members who took care of her in her last days. In addition to being a very personal loss for her followers and family, her passing had a big cultural impact on television history. Barbara Hale was the final original cast member of the popular legal drama Perry Mason, still alive at the time of her death. Hale's iconic performance as Della Street, the devoted and astute legal assistant to Raymond Burr's titular defense lawyer, helped cement this enduring series, which ran from 1957 to 1966, into the fabric of American popular culture. Over the course of 271 episodes and 9 seasons, Hale embodied calm strength, intelligence, and grace in a character that helped reshape the way women were portrayed on television in professional contexts. In addition to lamenting the death of a cherished actress, Perry Mason's demise marked the symbolic end of a chapter in television history, according to fans worldwide. Actors, industry insiders, and innumerable fans who had grown up watching her perform all offered tributes. Her influence is still felt today, in addition to her vast collection of work, but also through her offspring, especially her son William Catt, who is well known for his own prosperous acting career. The passing of Barbara Hale, the last surviving member of the original Perry Mason cast, was a sobering reminder of the show's lasting influence and the lasting impression she made on the entertainment business during her 7-decade career.